Hello, and welcome to our podcast today. I'm your host, Kaylee Patton Dieters,
And I am Caitlin Mead.
and we have a interesting topic to talk about today. It's kind of it's a vulnerable topic because it's about self-doubt. And at any point, somebody experiences self-doubt, whether it's multiple times a day, sometimes a week, or when you have like a really big presentation coming up. That's when self-doubt can really rear its ugly head. And I say that not in jest, but it is an ugly head that just takes over everything. It takes over your thoughts, it takes over your emotions, it can take over your nervous system to where you can just be like this not so fun jittery bean and just trying to figure out how to navigate, kind of the situation.
I call it spiraling.
Ooh, that's a good word. Yeah.
So if you watched our last Glitter and Chaos podcast, we did it on imposter syndrome. And so this was a good segue, or that was a good segue into self-doubt. Because I feel like they play off of one another, or they're very much involved with one another. When we talk about the spiraling aspect, Kaylee was talking about, how you very much kind of get into this headspace, and it affects you in a lot of different ways. And I see it not just in professional work, but like in personal life, in relationships, like self-doubt in relationships. And
yeah. Am I doing enough? Am I
doing enough? Are they gonna,
enough?
Are they gonna leave, or are they like, at least that's where my brain goes at times, which is, to that point of like Kaylee said, am I enough? Is what I'm doing enough? What if I screwed up here? What if I screwed up here? And what if you didn't even screw up, but your brain has now created this narrative,
scenario, make believe.
Right. And I always make this, it's not a joke, but it's kind of a joke in the fact of like, you've written this story in your brain, and you're the only one who's written the story. Nobody else
nobody else can see it. Nobody else can hear it.
Right. Nobody's a part of it.
Locked in here.
You start here, and if you're like me, it only takes a couple minutes before you're like way over here. And you share that with somebody else, and they're like, how did we get from here to here? And where, like, why? And so it gets to that place. And honestly, most of the time that self-doubt is very unfounded. There's not a lot of evidence to suggest that your self-doubt is valid.
It's like what you talked about last time with like putting your thoughts on trial. What is the evidence for this self-doubt?
Right.
But that is where the insidiousness of the self-doubt is because it can sometimes even manufacture evidence.
Yeah.
Even when the evidence is not clearly there, if you were to talk about it outside of, your skull.
Oh, you can create it. Like you can create the evidence, which I was talking to somebody about this the other day that, a lot of times we try to make that seem like our brain is attacking us. And in some ways it does feel that way, but I also reframe that. And sometimes that's our brain trying to protect us, protect us from whatever danger we are perceiving or threat, even with the self-doubt. So like I bring up relationships, in relationships, when there's self-doubt, when there is the self-doubt of, am I doing enough? Am I enough? What if they don't like me? What if they leave? What if I'm not enough and they figure out that I'm not enough and they leave? That, I think, my gut reaction is shut up, brain. Like you're not being very nice. But then stepping back and looking at it from a clinical perspective, which this is not therapeutic advice, by the way, but looking at it from a clinical perspective and going, well, that's my brain's way of trying to protect me.
Yes.
And protect me from the disappointment, from the harm, from the hurt, which is then when those walls go up. And that tends to prevent you from having these really meaningful relationships, because then you withdraw or you isolate, or you're like, I'm only, you can come near my table.
Because the sticky emotions start, coming up. And I call them sticky because that's how they sometimes feel. They're uncomfortable. They don't always feel the best. And you don't exactly know what to do with them, but you need to clean them up somehow.
You don't like the texture.
I don't like the texture.
I don't like the texture. So and like I said, it's like you can get close to my table, but you can't sit there because I'm protective. But again, that is where you have the downfall of then you miss out on those meaningful relationships
Mhm.
and you miss out on the things that you probably are good at.
Yeah.
And so then there's the opposite side of the spectrum, which is
Mhm.
then we overcompensate
Mhm.
in those relationships or in the certain situations that we're in, which is now I'm going to go above and beyond and I'm going to dump and I'm going to dump and I'm
Mhm.
going to dump.
Mhm.
And then I don't have a lot left.
Mhm.
And I
Or
still don't feel good about it.
yeah. Or even self-sabotage on the other end of this, spectrum
Right.
of just trying to blow up a relationship or withdraw or not engage with because then that would be hurtful, you know.
Yeah.
That would hurt essentially me in that kind of
I'm
scenario.
going to walk away before you can.
Yes, to have to exert that control in that situation because of the self-doubt has created this scenario, or picture or just this kind of gloom and doom of what this isn't really truly in the real world, but this
Hmm.
is what is very real in your brain. And I think I want to highlight that piece is while it may not be exist as it does in the real world where other people are kind of observing it, it's
Hmm.
very real in your mind.
Right.
And that I think is the hard part to translate sometimes. It's very real in here, but it does not translate to real outside of it.
Exactly. And I think, and you're right, getting people to understand that. So,
Mhm.
like, getting someone in my life to understand, and Kaylee we always joke about this. My brain, I say, is a scary place.
Mm.
And but when I say that, I mean that it does go into that self doubt and into that place. This is that point of where my brain is like, we have to protect. And so it kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like it forms this ball and this like
Mhm.
the shield of like, okay, now we're gonna, it looks like self doubt, but it's really like you have to throw all these questions up, Caitlin, and you have to have all of this self doubt so that you're prepared for whatever's coming.
Yes.
And then that way you can deflect and you can
Mhm.
just, there's like this shield that everything just pops off of. And at that point, it is trying to explain that to somebody else
Mhm.
who doesn't see what's going on in here, just sees my behavior,
Mhm.
and that person's like, well, what,
Yeah.
like, why, where's that even coming from? And I wasn't even thinking that. And where did your brain even come up with that?
Mhm.
And like Kaylee said, it's hard to explain that and get somebody to understand that I see that you don't see that that's what I'm feeling, but in my mind I am in the like fight, like
Mhm.
I am in the I have to
Mhm.
protect self-preservation, like
Mhm. The cheetah is mauling my face, kind
yeah,
of.
like or I am a caged animal and
Mm.
I am like backed in a corner
Mhm.
and I feel like I have to, I'm fighting for my life,
Mhm.
essentially,
Yeah.
emotionally fighting for my life
Yeah.
of I have to protect myself. I have to protect my emotions
Mhm.
and
Yes.
I'm not going to allow myself to be hurt.
Yeah. And I'll share a really a recent like anecdote or personal experience I had with self-doubt. So I was at the International ADHD conference and was fantastic, had a great job or a great time, met a lot of really cool people. But after the keynote speaker on Thursday, so like the main person that they come to speak had his presentation, he is one of the most well-known researchers in the ADHD world. He has tons of papers out, he has books out. He's fantastic. And I saw him after dinner, and I, for a split second, was like, oh my gosh, it would be really cool if I could go up and meet him and tell him, how his work has been beneficial and how I, tell clients to read his resources and his books. And then I went, why would he want to talk to me? Why would he want to talk to me? I am just a therapist in small town America. I don't have any research papers to my name. I don't have any books to my name. Why would he want to talk to me? And I had that moment of
Totally
self doubt.
downplaying yourself.
Exactly. And just was like, I had that moment. And then I took that like 20 seconds of bravery and just went, we're going to do it. and, and in true fashion, someone else was talking to him because, like I said, he's just very well known in the ADHD realm. And I go up and I stand there. I stand there for like a hot 5 minutes of just solidly holding my hands in front of myself, just awkwardly staring and waiting to have my turn to speak with him. And once, I just kept talking to myself. I'm like, no, it's okay. He wants to talk. This is part of this conference. And one of the reasons I do like this conference is everybody is willing to talk to you about anything on it and regarding ADHD and what their experiences are. And so I kept reminding myself that, like, no, you deserve time. You deserve his time to talk. And
Mhm.
he can always say, I'm too busy. Have a good night. Would have accepted that as well.
He spoke to
He
you.
was eating dinner. And yes, he spoke to me. And so, but then I finally got my turn, and he was very gracious, very informative. And I asked him a specific question, and he's like, well, give me your email. And I went, what? And and he's like, yeah, I will email you some research papers if you here, let me write down my email and you email me and just remind me what we talked about, but I'll respond. And I went, okay. And I said, thank you, have a great night. And so I ended up emailing him this week, and I'm like, he's not going to respond. I'm going to give him like 2 weeks. He's a very busy individual. And then 72 hours later, I get an email and I go, he responded, and it was great. It's information, and I'm going to do some more research on top of what he provided me. But it was that moment of, why would he want to talk to me? You know? But I mean, like Caitlin said, you just downplay yourself, that you don't have your importance of existence right there does not meet or match the, I guess, notoriety that I was coming up against at
Your
that point.
self-worth.
Yes.
And I think that that's the part, like, where we struggle. I literally had a conversation with a friend on Tuesday night
Mm-hmm.
that I was telling her, like, well, why would somebody want to be, around me or with me or whatever? And like going down this whole like spiral. And she's just like, what? And she's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
seriously? Like, why would you think that? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what if I'm just not a good person? And she's like, okay, first of all, like, why would you not be a good person?
Mm-hmm.
And she threw all my therapy stuff back at me, and she was like, what do you have to prove that you're not a good person? And I went, I don't like this. First of all, like, it's one thing to be the therapist, it's the other one to be on the receiving end of it. Like, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway. But we were talking about that, and she was just like, what? And she understood. Like, she understood because like Kaylee said, everybody experiences self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, talking to somebody who does experience it, which we all do, but like talking to somebody who can talk you through it.
Mm-hmm.
Kaylee and I often talk each other through it, but like talking to somebody who can talk you through it and understand it, I think is so important too, which is what I wanted to touch on there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like, the thing that was pointed out to me was, you are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have self-worth. Why are you questioning your self-worth?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I go back to that place of like, well, am I questioning it, or am I trying to protect myself? And I see both sides. So it is the trying to protect yourself, but then at the same time, I do think that there is weight in the fact of, we do diminish our self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, great. Like, in the moment, I could be like, okay, yeah, this is my brain protecting itself. I'm not thinking logically. Like, when you're self-doubting, like, logic
Mm-hmm.
brain is over here and is like, yeah, okay, yeah, we can pinpoint that we're trying to protect ourselves. Most of the time, none of us are there when we're self-doubting.
No.
We're stuck over here in emotion, which is like,
You're
I
right.
suck,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good enough, like, all of those things. And so I think at that point we do, and it's very easy to quickly spiral.
Mm-hmm.
To quickly, like, dive down that black hole of just
Mm-hmm.
like, well, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And what if I'm not this? And what if I'm not that? And I think sometimes we get stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to get stuck there and stay
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know, and it may not have any connection, but in my brain it makes sense. So there's this golden rule in couples therapy, the 5-to-1 ratio. It's called the golden rule. The Gottmans use it in their research, and they say for every one negative thing, 5 positive statements need to occur to kind of negate and or get rid of, if you will, the negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I often apply that to us too. Is if we keep telling ourselves the negative things, the more positive and or uplifting or realistic or just, I guess challenging statements need to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And that ratio is hard sometimes.
Well, especially if you're like throwing 5 negative things at you,
Mm-hmm.
now you double that.
You
You're
need
looking
25.
like 25 positive things you got to come
Yeah.
up with.
Mm-hmm.
I can't come up with 25 things on the fly. I'm just going to tell you right now.
I mean, it would be a challenge for a lot of people. Even
Uh-huh.
somebody with a very healthy self-worth, self-esteem, that would, it may take them a little bit, but
Right.
they, you could get there with enough prompting, but it is hard.
Mhm.
But like I said, I don't know if it has any correlation, but it makes sense in my head that the more negative we are, it takes the more positive and or like I said, realistic or comforting statements to kind of negate and get out of there. But like we were also saying, when you're in that self-doubt kind of mode, you're revved, you're escalated. You are not using the frontal cortex here, bud. It is offline. It said see ya.
Right.
It activates the amygdala went and then it went
Yeah,
and
like
then
she
it's
took off. She took off
like
like
I sounded the alarm. I'm done. I did my
full
job.
send.
Yeah.
Full send.
And then you're in like fight, flight, freeze, or fun, and you're just trying to survive this situation when sometimes it's just you interpreting that there is this, threat that is existing out there.
Mhm.
And then so what we, need to do at that point is find ways to help regulate back into ourselves, deregulate down or, whatever that, looks like. And so at that moment it's what can I do? What can I do to help soothe myself in that moment? What can I do to challenge? What's the evidence?
Right. So thoughts on trial is always
Mhm.
one that I recommend.
Mhm.
The other one too is having somebody that you can call.
Mhm.
And you can call, and Kaylee and I often say, like, I need you to help me get out of my head.
Mhm.
Um, I have a couple people that I
Mhm.
can call.
Mhm.
But it's also like, let me rephrase that too, though. Like, that's also accepting some vulnerability and calling
Mhm.
somebody and saying, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable with you right quick. Like, I am struggling.
Mhm.
And that gets back to all of this, to what this is about, is being vulnerable. And I made a post earlier this week on our Facebook and Instagram page about vulnerability and how it's kind
Mhm.
of an icky word,
Mhm.
because it's asking you to step out of the guard, protect. And we live in a society that does not encourage vulnerability.
No.
It doesn't. It
No.
it very much encourages put the mask on.
Mhm.
Um,
Keep your defenses up.
right, keep your defenses up, protect yourself, present like you've got your crap together.
Mhm.
Well, newsflash, none of us have got our crap together.
No.
There's a reason we're therapists, is because we
Not
recognize
not
nobody's got
not
their crap
100% of the
together.
time. You're not
Um,
able to.
no, and so we walk around not exercising vulnerability because we're not supposed to. Um, and the thing is, like, you have to have those people, and that will lead us, when we do you'll see our next episode, it will be who's at your table, and it will be about
Support systems
support
and
systems and the
people.
importance of support systems, and quality over quantity and all of those things.
Mhm.
But the point being that getting out of your head and out of that self-doubt also comes to having that support system, because I think a lot of times when we are like, well, I can just rely on myself and I can get myself out of this.
Mhm.
um
Some
that's great to a point,
Mhm.
because I think it is, and I think self-resilience
Mhm.
and strength is great,
Mhm.
but support is
Mhm.
one of the things that we know is one of the biggest strengths, one of the biggest positive, like, survival factors, one of the biggest things that we see
Mhm.
in our world as what keeps people going, what keeps people continuing to grow, to
Surviving.
continue to thrive, and surviving, is having that support system. So, putting your thoughts on trial, calling somebody, getting out of
Mhm.
your head.
Mhm.
um
Radical acceptance.
Radical
Brain is being
acceptance.
mean to me. The brain is being mean to me.
Yes, and just,
Externalizing it sometimes can help too, is just
yeah.
making it its own entity can be helpful too.
So I will, I actually did this with a client. We called it, what do we call the brain? Like, we named the brain, like, when the brain was being, some names she didn't like. The name of a
Okay.
person she didn't like. Not necessarily like an actual person, but like
We're just going to go with Clyde.
Clyde. But like,
No offense to any Clydes.
right.
I love the name actually.
But like, we're like, okay, Clyde, I see you. Like, I see you. I see what you're doing. I see that you're present.
Mhm.
Nice to see you. You can leave anytime you want, but okay,
Mhm.
I hear you. I see you.
And you can do that with anxiety, you can do that with
Yeah.
depression. I sometimes they do that, with my brain, especially when my brain's kind of on fire and
Mhm.
just having, a bad brain day and it's being really mean, is sometimes you do have to externalize it. And I may actually, adopt Clyde at this point. I like to name things
Mhm.
for whatever reason. Betsy is my GPS. Clyde can be my brain. It's fine.
I mean, I often look at my anxiety, I call it the blob.
Okay.
So,
There
like,
you go.
my anxiety, sometimes I will picture myself physically, like, removing the blob from my body and, like, tossing it on the floor and being like,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, blob, I see you."
All I can think of is that meme with the like stick figure with the stick poking at the brain.
Yeah, well, there's that, but I don't know if you've seen the Disney movie Flubber.
Oh, it's been a minute.
So, like, I think of Flubber,
Okay.
and so I'm like, "All right, Flubber," like, blob or whatever, and
Okay.
so I look at
Okay.
it and I'm like, "I see you, like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to protect me from whatever threat there is,
Mhm.
but we don't really need to be protected right now."
Mhm.
And it's but I see that you're there,
Mhm.
and you can hang out, like, and it's that radical acceptance of, like, I know that you're there. And the thing about radical acceptance is people sometimes think, well, if I have to accept it, then I have to like it. No, like acceptance
No.
does not mean you have to like that it's there.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to like that you're feeling it.
Mm-mm.
You're just accepting that it's there and you are who you are. And this is where you're at in life. And this
Mhm.
is the feeling that you're feeling right now. And yeah, it can be yucky and yeah, it can really
Mhm.
stink. But it's
Yeah.
what I also call writing out the uncomfortable,
Embracing the suck is what we talk about.
embracing the suck.
But writing out the uncomfortable is very nice too.
Hmm. More professional way to say it, I guess.
Well,
I like embracing the suck better.
I like the bluntness of the second
Yeah, I
one.
do too. But yeah, like like making it more, giving it an entity, giving it a name,
Mhm.
being able to visualize yourself removing it and setting it outside your body
Mhm.
and being like, all right,
Mhm.
I see you, I acknowledge you.
Mhm.
I know you're here for a purpose. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Mhm. I also like the imagery of breathing in a certain color of air and breathing out a different color of air.
You can also do that with positive and negative statements
Yeah.
too, like breathing in the positive, releasing the negative.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I like color.
She likes color. I'm all about, what are they called? Affirmations.
Affirmations are good. I like affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have an affirmation on one of my wallpapers on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been there for years now, actually, now that I kind of think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Everything has its place. But and maybe affirmation can help with self-doubt too, is finding that one or two or three statements that make you feel the most confident or
Or
grounded.
the opposite of whatever negative distortion or
Mhm.
cognition you're having.
Mhm.
We call it coining new thoughts.
I've never
So
heard that. I like that.
it was, we do it in the play therapy world, the coining
Ah,
the new thoughts.
okay.
So
Very
like
cool.
you've got this negative distortion, this negative cognition that you're saying,
Mhm.
which is like, I don't know, throw one out
I'm
there.
not enough.
I'm not enough. Okay. So there's your I'm not enough. There's your negative distortion.
Mhm.
So so what's the opposite of I'm not enough?
I am enough.
Okay, I am enough.
Mhm.
And so it is breathing out or breathing in the positive of I am enough, pushing out the negative.
Mm.
But also anytime you say that I am not enough, you follow it up with no, I am enough and here's why.
Mm. Mhm.
And you come up with the evidence of why you are enough.
I don't know why all the memes are coming to me today, but it reminds me of like you come in and you say a statement and you walk away, and then all of a sudden you hear, and another thing.
Well, it reminds me of that meme, and then we're saying the meme, I don't know if you've seen the cat that's like sitting on the counter and it's like a mom. They say like when a mom hears her kids mumble in the other room and the cat's like looking all like bug-eyed and freaked out because the cat's like, what'd you say? Like it comes right back in. And I'm like, yeah, like it's kind of like our brain.
Mhm.
And it is like in another thing, because I think your brain too has to kind of get on this roll, which is
Mhm.
like, okay, you want to come at me and you want to not be nice today? Game on. Like,
Yes. Yes.
game on.
I like
Here's
that.
the challenge.
Mhm.
We're going to go to war. I'm going to go toe to toe with you.
Mhm.
You might think that you've got these little defenses over here, but I have this whole offense right here. I'm talking
Mhm.
sports talk and you're over
I
here
was like,
like
I
whatever.
don't. Okay.
Yeah, I know. But I'm over here like challenge accepted. Like to me at that point, it is
Mhm.
challenging my own brain. And it's
Mhm.
like, all right, like we're not gonna, bad brain day is not going to win today.
Mhm.
Like we're not doing this.
Mhm. Mhm. I like that a lot. I'm still working through the offense and the defense. I know what defense means. Offense is a little sketchier.
Offense is the other side of the defense. It's
Okay.
the side that scores.
So they're the bad guys in this scenario?
No.
Okay.
So offense is the side that scores, is the side that has the ball.
Okay.
It's the side that has the ball.
Okay.
Defense is the side that prevents the side that has the ball from scoring.
Because they don't want the... Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Like I
Okay.
said, defense makes sense. The offense is still a little sketchy on what
Okay.
that is. All I know is they're trying to score the point and the other people are trying not to let them.
Chiefs have the football.
Okay.
We want them to score their offense. Chiefs are offense. They have the ball.
Okay. Sports ball's hard.
Buffalo Bills don't have the ball. They want to keep the Chiefs from scoring. They're the defense.
Okay.
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 Right.
Yay, sports ball.
Got this.
Do the things, win the sport.
Got this.
Win the points.
Win the points. It's all right. We love you anyway. Love you anyway.
There's some vulnerability there.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I have my vulnerabilities too. She goes off on some of these clinical tangents and my brain starts to
Glaze over.
I glaze over.
Mm-hmm. Especially when the hyperfocus hits and you're seeing all these connections and you're really excited to info dump.
And that's when I have to go, hold the phone, like hold up, like I am, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that too, like that brings up that self-doubt too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, especially with info dumping, which we hear a little bit more like in the autistic and ADHD realms of this is a topic that we know a lot about, that we're really excited about, and we want to share all of this, but it can be overwhelming and overstimulating for a lot of people due to the like depth that we have on this particular topic. And we just want to share this because we think it's really cool. We think it's awesome. And the other person is like glazed over in like 2 minutes and it's not that, especially with the people that truly love you and really care for you and are interested, it's just sometimes they are not interested in the same things that you are.
Or it's just a lot of information and we're trying to catch up. Like, it's not that, like, when we talk about those things, I'm very interested in that ADHD stuff because somebody in my life who's very close and personal to me has it. And I am navigating that and working on that. And so it's very interesting to me and it's stuff I want to know. But my brain works at a slower pace in taking in that information because when I take it in, I want to process it and I want to work through it and I want to consume it and be like, okay, I want to grab this piece and I want to hang on to that one and I want to deal with that piece. And your excitement for it is like, I want to tell you all the things. And I'm like, okay, I want to hear all the things, but I want to focus on this one right now.
It's like a bowl of Legos, and then you just all of a sudden go here. And all of the Legos are on your lap, and you're like,
and there's no instruction.
And then I'm like, no, but this one goes here, and this one goes here, and you're like, where is this in the instruction box? Like, where is this?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make these connections a little bit quicker, and and again, and it's the excitement, and that's when you know you have found important, like people who truly are in your corner, truly at your table, because a lot of times autistic and ADHD individuals are shut down at so many different points in their life because of this. We get so excited, we want to share, and people are like, why is this important? Or insert whatever kind of negative statement, shutdown statement you can think of. It's just, and throughout the years, you just learn to not do it because you don't think people have not treated you kindly in the past.
Well, there's that self-doubt.
It is. It's like, well, nobody will want to hear this. Nobody will want to listen to this. Nobody will think that this is as cool as, or interesting as it is as I do. And that is a point of self-doubt as well. It really is.
It is.
Until you find your people that they're like, I love this for you and I want to hear about it.
Right. I just need you to slow down.
Yeah.
But it does. And that's going to lead us into our next podcast too, is it's finding your people. Because, I have my people that when something happens with the things that are important in my life, the things that go on in my life personally, and the topics that, things that involve my family or medical things or whatever, I'm not going to just talk to some random person about it. Like I have my people, which I might sometimes, but it's more of like, if it's something that I know Kaylee will take interest in or understand, or our close friends or my other close friend, and I can text them or I can call them and be like, oh my gosh, This is what happened at this appointment, or this is what happened at this, or this just happened. And while it may not personally affect them, they're going to, I don't doubt for a second that it's not important to them because it's important to me.
Yes.
And so when you find your people, the self-doubt, not that it's not there, because it is present still. I think it still rears its ugly head. But when you find your people, it's less intense because you know that the rejection, you've learned with those people that rejection
is not, I don't want to say is not going to be there, because we are human and we are fallible, and we're not going to get everything right all the time, even with our best, closest people.
But you can point that out to them and they will.
Yes, they will attend to it.
Right, because they are your close and they are your good people. They're going to be like,
there's going to be the repair.
Yes, there will be repair there. So again, it's not because we're not at fault. We're not faulty. I mean, we are faulty people. So like we do make mistakes, but because they are your people, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be in your corner.
You can say that was really hurtful.
Right.
That, insert whatever here, that you shut me down, or I felt shut down when I observed you do this,
Right. Which is where, and that will be the good segue into our next one, but I kind of will circle back to the self-doubt too. Self-doubt manifests over time. We all naturally have self-doubt, but self-doubt also increases when you have faced significant rejection. When you have faced, whatever, bullying or abuse or just negative statements, isolation, like all of those things. Childhood experiences into adulthood, into social interactions, whatever, relationship traumas, whatever it is, that manifests in self-doubt. Like that makes the self-doubt worse. And so not only do we have the natural self-doubt, but then you have life experiences that also increase that self-doubt. And so I don't want to end on that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's why it's so important to have those thoughts on trial, to have a support system, to have the 20 seconds of bravery, the micro breaks that we've talked about in our Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself episode. If you haven't watched it, you should. Because those are ways to self-soothe. Which we probably need to do an episode on self-soothing.
Totally.
Man, I'm loving this. We're just coming up with
It's always at the end.
It's always at the end of our podcast. We come up with, we should do an episode on that. So we should probably do like a Thanksgiving grateful episode too. Maybe. I don't know. We're coming up on the 1st of December. We probably should have done that already. Whatever.
There's another one coming around.
Whatever. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. It's fine. It's holiday season. We can do things we're grateful for anyway. Doesn't have to be Thanksgiving.
Precisely.
Back on track. I think the segue at this point, the way we'll end and move on to the next episode is having your people, working on that self-doubt and recognizing that this isn't a journey you have to walk by yourself.
No. When your brain becomes just really super mean, that's when you can reach out to other people. That's when you can use some of the skills that you've learned either just throughout your life and or through other support systems that you are involved in. And know that you're not alone and that you are not the only one that experiences self-doubt, and that everybody does at any given point in time can experience self-doubt. Yeah. You're not alone. You're not alone. And you are enough.
Absolutely. Always enough. Despite what has ever happened in your life.
Despite what Clyde says.
Right. Stinking Clyde. Stinking Clyde. Listen, man.
Yeah, I know. So,
well, thank you. Put Clyde in a corner.
Nice. I like it.
But
thank you for joining us today. We look forward to interacting with you on our Facebook and Instagram profiles. If you have any questions, please reach out. But otherwise, we'll see you for our next episode.
Yep. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.